Lunch? Do you want lunch?
Gaming nearly ruined my life. From ages 13 to 18, I was addicted to video games. It consumed all of my free time, it consumed all of my attention, it consumed my life, and it very nearly could have ruined it. At age 19, I decided to sell my PlayStation, leave gaming behind me. This single act significantly altered the trajectory of my life. This is how gaming nearly ruined my life. First of all, gaming nearly ruined my brain. When I was younger, I didn't really have any problems concentrating, focusing on tasks. What I noticed was as I got later into my teens, towards that 16, 17, 18 mark, I noticed I found it quite difficult to concentrate on tasks. These were my final few years at school, so I was having to concentrate on things that I probably didn't enjoy that much, right? Things like English and things like maths and, economics, biology, all that stuff, which is maybe not that exciting, but I found it very difficult to concentrate on. And it got progressively worse over time. So when I was about 17 years old, I went to a doctor and I just said, look, I can't really concentrate that well. I think there's, something going on with my brain here. So he asked a few questions, we did a few tests, and then he basically said, look, you've got ADHD. I thought, well, that's a bit strange. I've never historically had any problems with concentrating. I don't really think I have ADHD, but all right, sure. So what the doctor did is he just filled out a prescription for ADHD medication and just gave it to me and said, look, you're going to have to take this if you want your brain to work normally. What I eventually figured out is that I didn't have ADHD at all. What I had is I had ADHD symptoms because I was constantly providing my brain with that quick, easy dopamine from playing video games, that every time I had to sit down and go, all right, let's do some maths problems, my brain is thinking, well, we could do maths problems. They're pretty hard and they don't feel so good. I'm not receiving much dopamine from maths problems. I'd much rather play video games where they're really easy to do and they receive a whole lot of dopamine from doing them. So what my brain was doing is it was constantly comparing these difficult, challenging tasks with just playing video games. I just want to play video games. They're so easy. They feel so good. I don't want to do a maths problem. I don't want to study a bit of literature or do some biology or economics. I want to play video games. This is easy and this receives a lot of dopamine. Your brain is always making that comparison. So what happened is I would basically always want to play video games, never want to do anything productive. And what ended up happening is I had the symptoms of someone with ADHD. You're distracted, you're impulsive, you always just want to play video games, you never want to actually do anything productive. And it absolutely cooked my brain. And having removed not only video games, but all online entertainment, realizing, wow, my brain actually works really well. I actually can concentrate on tasks. This had nothing to do with my brain chemistry and having ADHD, and all to do with this cheap, easy dopamine I was receiving from the video games, literally ruining my brain, giving me ADHD, making me impulsive and short-term thinking, and very ineffective as a person. So the first big thing from playing a huge amount of video games was it ruined my brain. The second thing here is lost energy. So I'm someone who I can obsess over certain things. I'll put a huge amount of energy and a huge amount of focus into them, which can be really good if it's channeled in the right directions. But what happened is I would allocate all of this energy, all of this focus, all of this obsession to my video games. If I had a new game that just come out, for example, a new FIFA's just come out, right? I'm obsessing over that for weeks. I'm really focusing on that. Or the next Call of Duty comes out and you're really obsessing over that. And what happens is you're channeling that intense energy and passion into something that yields no returns. What happens when you play a huge amount of FIFA? Okay, maybe I have a great team on FIFA. Then the end of the year comes around and the new FIFA comes out. Throw the old one in the bin. I don't need to worry about that. And then you move on to the next one. And you're progressing and leveling up these fictional characters, these things that have no tangible benefit to your life whatsoever. You're adding and applying so much pressure, so much energy and obsession into something that has very little impact on you in the long run, okay? No one cares how good your FIFA team was or what skins and camos you had on your gun in Call of Duty. No one really cares about that, but you end up putting so much time and obsession into it in something that you're going to throw out in a year's time. So from the ages of 13 to 18, my obsessions were nearly exclusively around video games. I was putting all of this energy and obsession into video games, right? It will be a new FIFA that come out or a new Call of Duty or when Fortnite came out, right? It will be something, but there would be an obsession and it was only ever based around the video games. And what happened is my teenage years, it gets to the end and it's like, what have you accomplished? I had some cool video game characters and my FIFA teams were pretty good. That's about it, right? All of that obsession, all of that focus was just put into activities that I no longer care about. And realistically, you're never going to care about the video games. Now, I'm still obsessed. I still have obsessions, but the obsessions just change, right? It went from me caring about my FIFA team to me being obsessed about getting in great shape, or being obsessed about getting the dark matter skin on Call of Duty, to being obsessed over trying to learn Spanish, right? Or, being really obsessed about trying to get through the battle pass in Fortnite, to being obsessed over trying to run marathons, right? You still have obsessions. It's just changing. What you're obsessed with changes. And one of my biggest regrets from gaming is that I just allocated so much energy, so much obsession to the video games, which just don't matter. In 10 years' time, you're not going to care about what your Clash of Clans base looks like, right? You're not going to care what your FIFA team looks like. You're not going to care what skins you had on Call of Duty 10 years ago. You're not going to care about any of these things, right? Let's say you allocate that obsession to learning a new language. Do you think in 10 years' time, you're not going to be glad that you allocated some sort of your obsession towards becoming fluent in another language? Along with all of this energy, all of this obsession that I lost and allocated to video games, it was also a huge amount of time. Video games are a massive, massive time suck. If you think about the way they're played, right? The first level you have of a game, it's usually something incredibly easy and you get your level up for it. And then the next level, it takes a bit longer, it's a bit harder, and then you level up next time. And then after that, it takes a little bit longer. The point of video games is they stretch out the point of reward, so you're spending as much time on the video games as possible. And I would spend all day on it, right? Most of my weekends were taken up by playing video games. Any bit of free time I could have where I could play some sort of video game, I would be doing it. And that's so much time that I've just driven into video games. I mean, I made a whole video about this, but you could become fluent in a new language with about 1,000 hours of work, okay? I probably put multiple thousand hours in per year into video games. Imagine if I could say, yeah, I learned one language every single year, okay? 3 years later, you're fluent in 4 languages, okay? Versus my FIFA teams for the last 4 years were pretty good. Or I had pretty cool skins on my gun in Call of Duty for the last 4 years. 4 languages. Like, the amount of time that was just driven and allocated into just this cheap, impulsive behavior was quite crazy. Next thing here is I had worse health. When I was addicted to playing video games, my health suffered as a consequence. Now, sure, there were aspects of missing workouts because I wanted to play video games, but the big one here is I would stay up so late playing video games. There were nights I was up till 3 in the morning, even 4 in the morning. So late playing video games, right? And what happens when you stay up till 4 in the morning? Of course your sleep is going to suffer. When your sleep suffers and you feel really tired, what are you going to do? You're going to make more poor decisions. You're probably going to play more video games, and just has this compounding effect of getting pretty shocking sleep, missing some workouts, all because I want to play more video games. And of course, if you're tanking your sleep, if you're not hitting your workouts, if you're probably being a bit slack on your food because you just want to play more games, your health is going to suffer as a consequence. So not only did this screw up my brain, but it also was not good for my health whatsoever. Last thing here is that my relationship suffered as a consequence. If you're someone that's addicted to playing video games, you want to play video games all the time, you don't want to be socializing with other people. You want to be playing video games. So I'm sure there was countless times throughout my childhood where I had an option of doing something with other people, some sort of genuine socializing, or being on my PlayStation. And sure, I was talking to people on the PlayStation party chats. It's not the same thing, right? Going out, actually being with real people versus screaming at people through a headset while you're playing video games, not the same thing whatsoever. And most people aren't even doing these party chats. It's just even more antisocial. You're just sitting there by yourself in a room, moving your thumbs in different directions, leveling up a fictional character. When you're spending all of this time being alone, of course, this is time you're not spending with other people, building, developing relationships. And if you're someone who just wants to be by themselves, moving their thumbs in circular patterns, trying to level up pixels on a screen, then of course your relationships are going to suffer as a consequence of that. So that is what I noticed from just being a little video game addict throughout my teenage years. My health suffered, my brain got destroyed. It was not good for my relationships. I lost a huge amount of time, and I lost a huge amount of that energy and obsession that I could have been putting into things that would have actually improved me as a person. Guys, I have an entire course on how to remove not just video games, but all online entertainment from your life without requiring any willpower whatsoever. If you're interested in that, I'll leave a link in the description below. That's the end of the video. If you liked it, then like the video. That's what the like button's for. Subscribe to the channel. There's probably some videos around here that you might be interested in, so I will see you in one of those.